Hello everyone, so Klaus here guys, and today I'm gonna review one of my mock, and it's gonna be of course one from my series of Warlords. So this one is the 7th one, and here we go. So, at first it might seem to be a big mishmash of parts and stuff like this, and well, it's kind of, but well, it's easy to understand how it's made, and that's why I'm gonna explain you how the construction works in fact, because it's pretty simple when you look in details, if I can say so. So, the main frame of this map, which is right here, is made of three waist parts. So, for example, you've got your two metal pelvis and one vacuum pelvis, which are linked together. This means we got 6 ball joints, in fact, 6 well, not really legs, but more like roots, in fact, because of course the idea behind this mock was, of course, to make kind of a vegetal organic character, organic beings. So of course it's made from there is roots, leaf, and stuff like that. So many green parts also used. So that's why I decided to not use legs, but more like make roots, in fact, instead of legs. So 6 ball joints for 6 roots. So I'm going to explain how they are made because it's quite simple. You've got the first one, the front one, which are ears. You can notice the little Makuta claw right here, then some Pirakash legs armor, just to fill the void, in fact. Some Mechu legs, and then some Visorak legs also, to have kind of a root feelings, in fact, because it ends in a thin way. And then, of course, I use this vastus part because there are already some leaves and stuff like that on it. And I don't think in my dictionary it was called creepers, this kind of stuff, but I'm not really sure that's the word. So I'm not going to use it too often because if I'm mistaken, it's going to be wrong. So yes, by the way, here's the front root. So you got two of them, of course, which are quite identical. Then you got the middle one, which are made with a double long connector with some Metro leg armor, and then some Piraka legs, used right here. And at the end, you just got a connector plus Borak eyes to make, again, a little spine, if I can say so. Also notice there's a connector plus, some Nuva arm, it's Nuva legs. Yes, Nuva legs, not arms, and then some Onua claws in that are going to make some more roots on this side. And then you got the two rear roots, which are in fact really simple because they are made with some Karatawan legs, in fact, in green, so it was released in Tarduk in 2009. And then again, I used these Visorak legs. Also notice the Piraka spine right here. We're gonna come back to this later on. So, yes, it's kind of fall down because of the waist ball joint. I can call this a waist. So this is for the roots part. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to understand. And also then, if you can see, well, it's yes, tons of stuff. Just notice these parts, which are Borak arms and two Maktoran arms, in fact, which are used just to kind of fill the void between the not between, but behind the mark. Under the mark, just to fill the void. So when you look on the side, you do not see any void with the woods. So it's full, if I can say so, of parts. Then you got the upper part of all these frame parts to link the woods. So this means I used in fact 3 Wakshi backs right here, and there because they are kind of curved, so it goes pretty nicely with the organic feeling I wanted to make for this mark. Also notice that to all this part I use an axle which is linked to a Borak eyes, you can see right here, and then a ball joint plus connector plus a Vaki head part, and then some Onua claws right here. And I think that's quite tough for this part. Oh yes, and of course you've got kind of the tail root part, which is made with a Piraka spine right here. Or Piraka back spine, excuse me, which is right here. You can see it's linked. Of course, it's linked with this axle of 4 plus 2 Borak eyes, and here we go. And of course, there's 2 parts here are linked to the Karatawan arm on this side. And then I put also a vastus head because of this part of this roots part, which are on his mask, so they goes pretty well with the overall roots and natural feeling, of course. Then you have all the upper part, in fact, which is linked directly to all the head, as you can see right here. So you can see this part has not all the head, I think it's the head, but I think it was foot. There's all the foot right here, which we're going to be linked to a glatteran neck, of course with a ball joint, so this means the waist is going to be articulated, but we're going to see that later on. And then you got, of course, the main body part. So how it works, in fact, it's pretty easy, because even if you can't really see that pretty well, you've got the glatteran neck part right here, then it's linked to a normal technique beam, a long one, which will be useful, in fact, to link the other part of the body. So, for example, there's two right here, and there, the two baroque feet, excuse me, the two baroque feet, which are used, in fact, here just to put a visceral leg, which is just to give an aerodynamic feeling of the body, and have some, well, it's in fact just for the overall design aspect, excuse me. And the front one right here is useful to link this waxy head, which will be is a part of the body, in fact. Then I've linked another vacuum pelvis part on the right here, just right here, in fact. And this time it's useful to link two other waxy heads to make kind of like a woman bust, because of course it's kind of a woman. So you have some nice design with this part, with this three curved part. Then you've got a double little connector for the arms, but we're going to see that later on. And well, that's all, because the head is quite complicated, so I'm going to explain this just after I talk about the arms. So the arms, because I used double connectors for the shoulder part, I was kind of forced to have a ball joint, of course, because I can't directly link another double connectors, like for example a normal canister arm. So this means using an other arm, as you can see right here, then using a little on a claw. And then I use a little technique build, because I use, in fact, this double long connectors from 2009. So this means the holes are right here instead of here. And then I could easily link this double connector to this older leg. Then you got, of course, it's a classical canister arm. So this means I used this waxy part plus a Mactoran arm. And then finally the ends, which are quite different, because it was kind of organic, natural mark and stuff like that. I thought it was, well, better to have two different type of pins. These are not really arms, but more like hands. So this one used a Puraka foot plus a little claws right here, only made simple with this part, and then this when you are masked with, of course, an older head, because yes, also one of the important points with this mod was, of course, to mix well the three colors used. So this means the lime green, the dark green, and the normal green. And this means using these three colors everywhere on the model in a white way, in fact, not just using a big part of dark green and stuff like this. And then you've got the second hand, which is also made with a foot, but this time with a waxy one. We're gonna then use some these little tentacle parts, which are of course here used as roots, and then this grayish weapon part, which fit perfectly because of course it's got its natural organic feeling, plus it's got already a fade from the dark green to the lime green, so it's fit perfectly with the overall mark. Then you got also notice there's two little baroque eyes, which are in different colors than the normal green. They are translucent green, these ones, and which are useful to make, in fact, a shape in the mud, because if you look clearly, this part with this older head is also translucent green, so this means we got like a triangular shape into the body frame, which is useful for kind of a shape reminders and also for the overall design and the way you see the mock, in fact, because it's useful to have in this big mesh of parts, it's useful to have some classic shape you can recognize when you're looking simply at the mock. Then you got the head, which is quite complicated to explain because it uses many of little parts. So for example, it's begin with this other head, which I put this mask, and of course the eyes are supposed to be here, I guess. Then you got this little part right here, and then I really wanted to use the Tarduk mask as hair, so here it is in this way, so it was quite hard to put in this way, and that's why there is little many part and the hair doesn't really all that well. You also got this part, which I also used as a part of the hair, and of course there are some Glattorian excuse me, more like Marutoran dagger. And then finally, to finish the hair and the more organic feeling, I use these two hose pipe right here, which are quite not really linked to this way, to this section right here. And that's all for the construction building element, guys. So now I'm just gonna do a little turnaround of the model, even if it's quite hard because I don't want this to fall off. Like this. And here we go, I think. Now we can talk about the articulation. While it's quite not really useful, but well, you got like 2 ball joints per root, at least for the 2 roots in the front and in the middle. So you got 2 of them. Well, it's quite hard to pose. In fact, it's just if you want to make the model go higher, if I can say so. For example, I just have to put this part, and it will be in this way. So 2 ball joints per this root and this one, and then just 1 ball joint for the rear one and this middle one right here, of course, with the Nuva arm. Then you got a ball joint on the waist part, as you have already seen, which is quite useful if you want to make the body part turn on the side, like this, for example. Just gonna adjust this. And of course, you got like 3 ball joints per arms right here. So this means you can do some pose, but it blocks at 19 degrees right here, and there aren't any real big problems. Yeah, gonna try to do some pose. And finally, the head isn't really well articulated because there are so many parts. So it just means you can turn this a little on this side and a little on this side, but not really that much. And you can also make him look a little down and up, but that's just pretty ridiculous because you can't really make any movement with this head, I have to admit. And that's all, guys, I think. So I'm gonna just do it at the end, but of course it's one of my mocks. So of course the main idea is kind of success because the idea behind this mock was just to make an organic feeling and natural feeling mock, in fact. And well, I quite succeed because I did not really use legs, but instead of that I used roots part and stuff like that. So it's pretty different, but still it's not one of my best or even one of my mock I prefer because it's really, while it's still kind of tons of parts put together, even if it's put in a certain way, it still look maybe too chaotic for me. So well, I think that's quite all for this mock, guys. And also some articulation parts are not really well articulated, and some parts are quite, I would say, I don't have the word, but I would say it's, I think it's called fragile, yes. And they tend to fall off, so it's kind of annoying, at least for me. And that's all for this mock, guys. So hope you enjoyed this review and of course the mock. And of course, feel free to post your comments or questions about this mock, guys, and I will be happy to answer them. And well, that's all. So hope you enjoy, and see you later for another Bionicle video review. Bye.